Newsflash, cycling is bad for the economy. Cyclists don't spend money on petrol or gas. Cyclists don't pay parking charges or need a garage. Car drivers are better for your country's GDP. Car drivers are better for your nation's financial health. What about my financial health? What about my actual health? I'll come to that. I think we all know that cycling is better for your health than driving, unless of course you get hit by a car, and it is better for the planet. So when this meme started doing the rounds on the internet saying that cycling is bad for the economy, I was intrigued. Many people will have seen a variation on the meme, but how true is its claims, and does its sledgehammer bullet point stand up to any kind of scrutiny? So today I'm going to go through 7 of the claims and see how they stack up, and then finish in a shameless attempt to make you watch the entire video with the hilarious part of this weekend lycra-clad cyclist saying, "If I die tomorrow, don't let my wife sell my bike," fill in the gaps. So do stay for the end of the video, but in the meantime, don't forget to take out your love gun and shoot the like button. And obviously subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. Let's get on with it. 7 reasons why cycling is a disaster for the economy. Hilarious, but is it true? Let's get out there on the street and start with this one.
A cyclist doesn't need to buy a car.
Almost everybody I know who has a bike, including myself, also has a car. But assuming you do get rid of your car, as I will do eventually, this is obviously true. A car is generally a lot more expensive than a bike. Although surprisingly, the most expensive bike does actually cost a lot more than the cheapest car. I mean a lot more. The most expensive bike I could find comes in at a cool $1 million, and the cheapest car to buy in the USA at the time we're going to press comes in at a mere $13,600. And whilst you may argue that this is a ridiculous comparison, which of course it is worth pointing out that your weekend lycra-clad cycling gang member can and often does spend thousands on a bike. But these same people would probably spend tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands on a car. They are just those sort of people. But anyway, if you actually swap your sensible commuter car for a sensible commuter bike, this is pretty much true. So let's step out for this next one.
A cyclist doesn't need to take out a car loan.
Why would a cyclist take out a car loan? I think what is meant here is that you don't need a loan to buy a bike unless you've gone for something stupid. But yes, unless you're spending silly money on a bike, this is generally true. And if so, the loan should be for a lot less money. So again, if you swap your sensible car for a sensible bike, this would be true. So let's get the next statement.
A cyclist doesn't need petrol or diesel or gas if you're American.
It would be remiss of me not to mention the rise in popularity of electric bikes, because if I don't, someone else surely will. What about electric bikes, you dumbass? Where do you think the electricity comes from? Or something similar. So, if you choose to buy an electric bike and charge it from the grid, and your electricity supplier still uses coal or fossil fuels, yes, you'll still be using fossil fuels to power your cycling. However, this will be a lot less fossil fuels than a car, even an electric car. And I cover electric cars in an earlier video. Why are electric cars not enough to save the planet? Which you can see by either clicking here or clicking in the description in the link below. But anyway, yes, this is true. So, let's get the next pearl of wisdom.
cyclist doesn't have to pay for MOTs or services.
Well, no. Assuming you get rid of your car, you won't need to get it serviced. But let's be fair, you may want to get your bike serviced, like when the gears won't change, or the brakes start to fail, or your handlebars come loose, or the bell or something else you bought to make it look good breaks. But of course, this is all relative. The cost of servicing your bike, even your electric bike, and there is a growing industry of electric bike sales and servicing that is already beginning to emerge. It is going to be far less expensive than servicing a car. So whilst the actual statement is wrong, for the purpose of money spent, this is pretty much spot on. So let's get the next pearl of wisdom.
Cyclists tapes on car washers.
You might want to wash your bike from time to time, but will be unlikely to take it through a car wash. But who knows? Perhaps there will be an industry that will grow around cycle-through bike washes, the washing cycle, if you will, where you get optional extra services from nubile operatives there to cater to the middle-aged cycling gang member out on a Saturday night with your mates at a gentleman's club and a Sunday morning clean at the washing cycle. I can't see it catching on, so this is probably true. Damn, I think it's beginning to rain. But let's pop out once more to hear the next pearl of cycling wisdom.
I probably wouldn't rain on the thing.
The cyclist doesn't need a car parking space and doesn't have to pay car parking charges.
Oh, the rain, the great weapon against the humble bicycle. But that's not part of today's script, so let's get back to it. A cyclist does not need to pay for a parking space or have to pay parking charges. It's fair to say that you can't really park your car in your hallway, but let's say you don't have a hallway. Popular thinking says that you can park 10 bikes in the space taken up by one average car. So we should imagine that bike parking charges in bike-centric cities like Amsterdam might exist and be 10% of the cost of parking a car. So this is kind of true. But if we're going to talk about parking, here is some interesting shit on how much room we devote to cars. Using London as an example, where your average car is driven for just 5% of the time, with an average of 1.5 passengers per journey. For the other 95% of the time, it is parked up using, not including public parking lots, an enormous 3,200 hectares of space. What's a hectare? Nobody really knows. Nobody. So let's give that some perspective. That is the size of 3,200 American football fields, 22 Hyde Parks, 4,480 soccer fields, or 122,000 tennis courts. So all this space, or 90% of it, could be turned into green space. Imagine that, if you can. So, right, it's beginning to get dark now, so I'm going to pop outside for the next and final gem of wisdom.
Well, cyclists have got to be healthier and fitter.
Yes, but what has that got to do with being bad for the economy? Surely that's good for the economy. I thought so too, until I read an article a few months back that linked the UK's GDP as being higher post-COVID as more people were going to the doctor who had been putting appointments off during the pandemic. Surge in GP appointments powers return to growth in UK economy. Surge in visits to doctors drives unexpected jump in UK economy. GP visits keep GDP growing. I'm no conspiracy theorist, and I'm really not. But reading that just floored me. They want us to be sick. The sicker we are, the better the economy. Think about that. How messed up is that? You couldn't make this shit up. So, but what this entire clumsy meme completely and utterly fails to take into account is that if people are not spending money on cars, parking, repairs, gas, petrol, car washes, medical bills, medication and wheelchairs, they will spend it on something else. So all that money will actually go back into the economy anyway. And let's face it, with all that space not needed for cars, it could and probably would be used not as green space, but as commercial spaces. So final score is really Planet 7, Capitalism 7. There are no losers in this, only winners. And of course, the big winners are people who walk instead of drive, because they don't even need a bike. So do say, I'm going to buy a bike. Don't say, I'm going to leave it in the garage with my 3 other bikes and continue to drive everywhere. But what do you say? Let me know in the comments below. Have you got a bicycle you never use in the garage? Let me know in the comments below. Would you be prepared to move closer to your place of work so that you could cycle or walk to work for the good of the planet? Let me know in the comments below. And if you've not already done so, please do take a moment to subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to show me some love by getting out your love gun, cocking the trigger, and shooting the like button. And you can also share this video across any of these social media platforms. Doing all or any of these things really does help me reach a wider audience and hopefully affect positive change. And if you've enjoyed this video and found it useful or just weirdly compelling, you might like this one, or indeed this one.
If I die tomorrow, don't let my wife sell my bike for the amount I told her I paid for it.